Hello,
Hey,
I'm Austin.
I'm Brennan.
We are the co-founders of SLEKE.
The phone curated to life's daily activities.
And just a little background, if you haven't seen us before, welcome. We are creating mobile phone software essentially optimized for, like Brennan said, life's daily activities. What that means in easy terms for me is it's a tool again. Use your phone for interaction, back in your pocket, free of distraction.
That means utility and communications type functions only, and it's all your favorite apps. It's all third-party based. It's not our own music player.
Nope.
It's the music player you want. And then none of the other stuff. So no multimedia, social media, games, browser, none of that. So that's the skinny on what we're doing.
Yep.
And the purpose of this video is to say, this is what we've done in March. Well, actually, it would be hard for us to know what we did in March. This is what we've done in February.
And time traveler, you?
I'm not saying I already know what I'm saying. It looks pretty good. And yeah, so this is what we did in February. Just a quick list of what we're doing in case you want to follow along with the fun. We're having a good time.
Great time.
Yeah. And so the first thing that we did is we went to this community pitching event that EDAWN puts on in Reno. And EDAWN is the Economic Development Authority of Western Nevada. So they're the organization that is tasked with economic development for big businesses as well as for small businesses as well as to promote the startup ecosystem. Yeah. So one of the ways that they do this is they host these monthly or quarterly events, depending on the type of event, that says like, hey, come listen to us present, or if you're a startup or have something interesting going on or have some sort of idea, come and present. And so what Elevate is it's the quarterly pitching event. So it's 4 organizations that they want to highlight, covers a range of industries. You go and you pitch in front of a panel of judges, and they say they don't call themselves judges, they're panelists, because they're not really judging us, they're just giving us feedback, asking questions. And so that's what we did, and it was a fun event.
It was cool because we were definitely the earliest stage development company, so it was a big privilege and opportunity for us to be able to present with a couple of the other companies that we did.
Yeah, we saw the set list, or we saw the list of the other presenters, and we're like, whoa, we're presenting with these guys? That's crazy.
A couple of big shots.
Yeah, so we, apparently we're going to have to turn this thing from a scam to a real product. Apparently so. That would be, Just kidding, we'll keep it a scam. False, just kidding. We've sunk a lot of time and effort and energy into this. There's no way that it can be,
So the coolest thing is our call to action for this presentation was a survey that we did. The survey was to validate all the market research that we've done since the beginning. And the best part is we found from the research we collected that we're pretty much spot on what we think we should be offering right off the bat. We're quite confident about what we think the first things that we need to be released are ready to go, and what needs to be released. So we got that covered, and amazingly our data was quite even as far as over broad demographics, even over overall the demographics, all education levels, gender, XYZ, and another. It was very even. And receiving that feedback is helpful because it helps us narrow down what we need from each demographic and what each demographic wants. So
And where we got that was from a series of sources from different forums, our friends, posted on our own social media, and Mechanical Turks, which is a very simple plug-and-play survey engine from Amazon, which is super cool. So if you need to conduct your own survey, Mechanical Turks is a great way to supplement whatever you can get via your other channels.
So using this research, we're going into our alpha in the next month, the next couple weeks, actually. We're currently onboarding the 15 people we have slotted to helping us in the alpha, reaching out to them, confirming that they're still willing and able to test for us. And we're getting ready for the onboarding process, which is going to consist of calls, reaching out, paperwork, not the most fun. But the part that we're going for this alpha is essentially just finding all the small bugs, small details we need to have shored up before we go into our bigger 100-person beta, which will be done hopefully in the beginning of April.
Yeah.
Following our launch. So big things are coming. We have some slots getting filled up quite quickly. So if you are interested, let us know, and we'll see what we can do about possibly getting you in.
Yeah. And thank God it's taken us, we started very seriously considering this, doing the project in August. And turns out it takes a while to develop an operating system.
It's not overnight.
Not overnight. And it's very nice to be finally putting this into people's hands and saying, like, look, this is not going to be perfect. You are the first off the boat, in a word. But we're off the boat. We're getting some real progress going, which is super exciting, especially considering that we got so far so quickly.
Yeah.
Like 3 months in, we were 80% of the way through developing this thing, and then the last 4 months has just been a drag.
Ruthless.
About the small tweaks that are just the hardest things to fix.
Correct.
And that seems par for the course for development.
Exactly, and then it goes towards being what our MVP, our minimal viable product is, and where we think what can get us 80% of what we imagine this phone to be. How do we achieve, like you said, 100% of that? How can we fully get that 80% covered and have it to where that final 20% is going to come out through testing and through use from both the alpha as well as the beta and the information receiving back to us.
Yeah.
And how do we make adjustments?
And hopefully, we're 80% of the way where we wanted to be before we started. No, we're 80% of the way where we want to be before it's marketable.
Yeah.
We're 100% of the way, like you said, that we wanted to be by the time we get to this step. And you're right, it's a lot easier of a lift to get that last 20% developed with input from other people.
Yeah.
And that's the exact purpose of the alpha. And then the beta is probably just to help us reach exit velocity with that last stubborn 1%. It's going to add the magic.
Exactly, and that beta is going to cover a lot of the outlying opportunities or outlying needs of people. Really find out what they need in their daily life. Oh, I need my kid's school's app. And then it's like, for us, the challenge is going to be how do we cover all of this information within our ecosystem.
We've been developing, we've been carrying this principle of like, okay, what else can we do to proceed? In parallel to the development, and one thing that we've been doing is like talking to as many people as we can, as we've discussed before. And so the process that we're going to be doing with the alpha and the beta, we already have experience with going from conversation, focus group, if you will, to implementation. And a big example of that is the most recent feature we added, and the final feature that was required before we could get to our alpha readiness, which was our answer engine. So did you want to go a little bit like, what's the background? Like, how did we even know that this was something that we wanted?
So the answer engine came from trying to figure out what people use their web browser for. Like the rest of the phone, there's a lot of reasons why a web browser makes sense. But on the flip side, there's a lot of reasons why it doesn't make sense. And for us, being able to focus on, all right, that part that makes sense. Those searches of how do my sprinklers work? Or why is my refrigerator not blinking 5,000 times. Like
or
these
when
small,
does Home Depot close?
exactly, like
Yeah.
these small nuanced questions that people need answers to in their day-to-day life. Fair. We all have those. I have them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So finding a way to include this answer engine helped us rip the important information off and just include that without any of the faff.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite example is the salmon recipe one, where if you go look for a good salmon recipe online, you're going to get the email and the full family history, the full background of that recipe, when the dog's birthday is. And then at the very bottom, you're going to get to the ingredients and the actual steps to creating the recipe.
Good old recipe site.
Where using the answer engine, it's going to spit out ingredients, cook time and temperature, step-by-steps for making it. Curated, optimized. And that goes to our name change, Simple to Sleek, where we are optimizing the phone. And this answer engine helps us optimize the way we use our phone.
Yeah. A big problem that we had was now that we figured out that we needed the browser and figured out that other people needed the browser to optimize like this, before we even knew that we would use what's called the answer engine, is like, how do we solve the browser problem? That was like one of the biggest insights, was finding out that like, this is exactly what you described, this is the exact way that we wanted to do it.
Yep.
And so then once we found that out, we integrated it into our phone. And so we get exactly what you just described.
It's quite underwhelming.
It's very underwhelming.
Which is the coolest part, because we've had 20, 25 people ask it questions, and it will spit out the answers in a way that they're like, this is easier than a web browser, because instead of having to click around, look for the information, it spits out that information immediately in a very non-distracting way. That's what we want.
By design, it's a profound thing to put in a phone, an answer engine, instead of a browser. But like by looking at it, it's underwhelming, because it's just kind of in the phone, and it's not flashy, it's not rainbow colors, it's literally just like,
it's seamless.
Here's your answer. It's seamless, and it's like, oh, it just works.
Exactly. So when we go back to the heuristic of creating something that's non-distracting and helping you interact with the environment around you seamlessly, I think it does it very well.
Very well.
Which is very exciting for us. I know when we tried it out for the first time, we were both losing it.
Whoa.
We were so excited.
Yeah.
And then like we mentioned before, you just get to something like, cool, it's spit out my answer. But it's like it's such a big deal.
Yeah. And some people might be thinking like, oh, did you just put ChatGPT in it? It's a good question. It is similar, but whereas ChatGPT takes like information that it was trained on and then answers based on that static set of information, what the answer engine does is you can ask it a question or whatever you want to type, and then you press search, and it literally searches the web based on what your question was, and then it takes a variety of sources, and it puts together an answer based on those sources. So you can get up-to-date, nuanced information that is both like current
and from highly reputable sources.
So right now, and one of the things on our roadmap is we want to be able to show people the sources that it gets it from as well. So that's something that we plan on adding.
Yeah. So it's exciting. So as far as February, that's February in a nutshell. It's a lot of shoring things up, getting things ready for the alpha, getting things ready for the beta, still being active in our local community, which is very important to both of us, and focusing on ourselves more and trying to find ways so we don't get burnt out going into this, what we foresee as a very busy season coming up.
Yeah. One thing that makes it easier, I think, this is the last day of February, so it counts, is social media marketing is kind of difficult, and it's something that we're going to do, but what we're going to do just to get our name out there at the very first is probably curate our subreddit.
Yep.
And so we're going to you might even be watching this from a link on Reddit, which is cool. So hello, if you're a Reddison, And we are going to just want to foster a community of good conversation.
Discussion.
Building
the open is what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And we can only do that by having people offer their insights and what you use a phone for in your daily life. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of the research we're gathering, and that's what's helping us shore up these extra little small, just needed phone resources and uses that we don't think of.
Mm-hmm. And if that's you, or you want to join the Reddit, remember to be kind, because it's just something that we want to, it's one of our values. I think that through every single bit of this, the people we're serving, how we treat each other, how we treat everyone that might be involved, just also in general, it's good to be kind. And so we want to enforce that a little bit.
And we do have a very cool little video going to be released soon.
Yeah.
This is video just kind of encompassing what we're doing as far as doing cool stuff, living life, how you want it specifically, because everyone lives life differently. Whether you like reading books, whether you like kayaking down mountains, whether you like playing chess in the snow, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what you like to do? And we're just trying to make that possibility of what you like to do effortless.
Yeah.
And be able to reach that max potential.
I think one thing that maybe we want to do in that with the subreddit is also highlight those things. To say like, hey, our phone is designed to give you some space to breathe, to be able to be like, oh, let me do this cool thing, or let me do this thing that I enjoy to do. And because we still like to interact with people, whether online or offline, albeit in a more balanced way. We would love to see what people are getting up to in their lives. So snapping pictures or videos and uploading it to the forum to say like, hey, this is how I'm spending my time now.
This is me doing cool stuff.
It would be cool to see.
It would be. And give us ideas of fun, interesting things to do, learn, try. Because that's another thing. Is like we both like to go out and try new things, adventures. So if you got some funky ideas, let us know.
We'll do them. Maybe.
Do our best.
Yeah, that's true.
It might not be pretty, but we'll try. That's one thing we'll always do is we'll try at least. So, that was February. We'll see you soon. Bye.